Oh, good. It's working now. It took a minute. All right. Do you want to say the prayer?
Yeah, I can say it.
Okay.
Dear Father in heaven, we're thankful for this day that we can meet together on one of our last weeks of school, and we're thankful for the opportunity we have to learn and attend this college. For many blessings, and we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you. Sorry, had to close something on my phone. All right. So first I need to ask, do you like hockey?
So I like going to the games, but I don't really follow it.
Okay. So I grew up watching hockey because there was an NHL team in my hometown.
Uh-huh.
And so I really liked this case study.
Yes, it was fun.
So let's just go through the questions real quick so we can be on time to our other obligations. One of the things that really stood out to me was the BATNA and ZOPA.
Uh-huh.
I'd never heard of them before. So it was really interesting to learn about them. But what do you think are the best ways to increase or strengthen your BATNA in a negotiation?
So to increase the BATNA, I would say probably like your entire attitude and how you go in. So try not to come off aggressive, try not to come off irritated, but cool, calm, collected. And I feel like no matter what scenario you go into, that will help. So BATNA's best alternative to the negotiative argument. That also too, I guess it would just be open-minded and not be closed off in your way of thinking about a solution.
So pretty much the exact opposite as the negotiations over the CBA of the NHL.
Yep.
In this case study. So what I found interesting in this was the amount of ego that was behind both the main people. So one of the things I did, one of the references I found talked about the future, like what happened. So right after the NHL, the person in charge of the NHL, was given a raise, and the person in charge of the NHLPA resigned because he was looked at as the bully during the negotiation. He also, at the same time, as much as a bully he was also negatively looked upon because some of the the proposed changes to the CBA were shocking and a lot more in the NHL favor than a lot of people wanted it to be. So it was interesting to see how that proceeded. Now there was a 2005-2006 season. They were able to win and not have the salary cap. I think the worst thing in this entire thing, and I'm not really going across the questions, but my take on the entire thing was the worst part of it was that the players were being bullied in the negotiation, being blamed for the reason the NHL was doing so poorly.
Yeah.
But like any corporation, you can't do that. Like there's fault on both sides.
Yeah.
Let me think. What was ZOPA stand for? ZOPA stand for Zone of Possible Agreement. Do you think it's possible to change someone's ZOPA? Reminds me of Zupa, and I'm hungry now.
So I think so. I think it depends on how open-minded someone is, but it also goes to how persuasive the argument is of the other side. So you can persuade someone to say, hey, you know what, that's reasonable, that's fine, and before they might not have been open to agreement.
I have to wonder because the next question is, what would you do if you were the national part of the NHLPA to resolve the situation? I have to wonder if anyone proposed some alternatives more than what they shared with us,
Yeah.
because there was obviously a solution, because the NHL was able to turn around. Now, it wasn't the next season, but they've come back and they've gotten their fan base back up for the most part.
Mhm.
But I wonder if what I would do is just propose, make my proposal and then show them the return on investment for it. So if the players don't want a salary cap, what is their solution on the contra to get the NHL to make money?
Yeah.
So I like the shared revenue that they introduced.
Yeah.
Now, if you, and I'm asking you, if you were the NHL, what would you do?
So I feel like the NHL had a little bit more leverage because they're the reason people come to the games. Now, just because if they didn't play the games, what is the name of the other organization? NHLPA.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
make they make zero money, and they have a lot of fixed assets they have to pay for, so they're actually going in a lot of debt. But
Yeah.
as far as like individual players, like I feel like they have a little bit more leverage as far as negotiating.
I concur. They absolutely have much more fixed assets.
Yeah.
I didn't like where the focus turned off of what was actually beneficial, and it was more about the greed.
Uh-huh.
I felt like both sides had valid points.
And then you saw like the graphs of how much salaries increased, and it was a lot. I was actually kind of shocked.
Yeah, absolutely. I always think that in general, professional sports people get paid way too much anyway.
Way too much.
I prefer college for that purpose.
Yeah.
And my life is getting so complicated because the national championship NCAA tournament is a mile from my house. So people are coming down to the valley right now. So it's a little chaotic in my life getting to and from work right now. But
Yeah.
I prefer college over national for that reason.
Yeah.
What gospel concepts are pertinent in this case?
It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can tie it to what I said before, but it's not that pertinent. But it's just being open-minded. I guess just going into things with a good attitude, not being aggressive or egotistical. I guess they need to learn a little bit of humility. So I guess that's applicable.
Oh, yeah. I think all of us need to be more humble.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's a great one. I just think it's really interesting how the case studies have progressed throughout the semester. I can actually see a reason for the order.
Yeah.
And being that this is our last case, I'm really excited because I feel like I learned a lot about organizational behavior. And one of the trends that you can see throughout the majority of the cases is the aggressiveness, like you were talking about. In the case studies where the people involved were aggressive and unable and unwilling to I don't even know how to describe it, to accept other people's opinions or listen to other people. I feel like that's the epitome of the lessons that I've heard through this semester, that you need to be open-minded, like you were saying.
You need to not be a difficult person, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a kind of a theme in a lot of the cases, but I mean that's important.
Yeah.
It's probably important too for the people that are difficult to realize that they are, and sometimes they might not realize that.
That's true. I was having a conversation with someone a couple weeks ago, and he was challenging a thought process that I have, or a thought, an opinion that I have. And as I was trying to explain to him very calmly why I was feeling the way I was feeling and why I was thinking the way I was thinking, he full on said, well, no, you're wrong, as if he could never be wrong. And it really just made me sit back and go, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Do you pay attention to like MSNBC or MSN at all?
So I do. So I keep up with like politics and a lot of the media stuff. I don't watch MSNBC, but I mean, I know.
It makes me think of the Mike Pence and his wife situation right now.
Okay.
Have you heard about that?
No.
So they came out, and in an interview with Mrs. Pence, she said, we have an agreement in our marriage that we will not go out alone with a member of the opposite sex for a meal without our significant other there.
Uh-huh.
And I sat back and I thought, I'm like, well, that's being respectful to your partner and being respectful to your marriage. So what's the problem? They are being attacked royally in the media because
Was that recently?
Yeah, it was in the last day or two. It popped up on my MSNBC feed today.
Wow. See, I haven't heard that, but that makes me angry. I don't like. I feel like they look for anything to attack them, but it's
Correct.
so dumb, and that's their marriage. I don't see anything wrong with that. I see it's respectful and.
I mean, I've been friends with that guy friend I told you about for 8 years. He's like my brother, but I would feel uncomfortable at this point because he's married to be at dinner just with him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And so I find it interesting because the biggest argument is, well, you're archaic and you must not have faith in each other. I'm like, no, actually, they have great faith in each other if they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And they're respecting each other. So I feel like it's that kind of double standard that happens a lot in business that we've also learned this semester.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I see that.
so, but that goes through the whole agenda. This was meant to be a very short meeting, which works out perfectly.
It was nice. This week was because the normal write-ups are kind of long, but this one was way easier, and I was so happy when I was like, just it had questions, and I was like, oh.
I might have done a little jump when I saw it because I'm like, that is such a nice last week.
That is, it's awesome.
So, look for the email because I'm going to read and ask Brother Freese about what we're supposed to do for the final project because there's no agenda under the agendas for next week. But it's said in the intro for the final submission that we're supposed to meet with our group maybe earlier in the week just to get it out of the way.
Okay.
So
if we met like probably Monday or even Tuesday, because I'll be done with school. Like I'll be out of here Wednesday or Thursday.
Are you heading back to California?
Yeah, I'm going to California and I'm ready to get back to the real world.
The beach.
The beach.
And not the closet that is Rexburg.
Yeah, it's a bubble here. I don't mind it for a while, but as soon as I'm out of school, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to San Diego in June, and then I leave for Disney in like 28 days.
Oh, wow.
And then I head to the San Diego, and then I head back east to New England this fall. So I need to get done with this semester to get money so that I can go on all my trips. All right. So I am going to post the link, and then I'll send an email when I hear back from Brother Freese.
Cool. And then
all right,
I'll watch my email so we can figure out what's going on with the final project.
Cool. Talk to you later.
Cool. See ya.
Bye.